Lesson 3, what is meant by gender? So in English, there's no gender, but in Spanish, one of the significant, characteristic is Spanish has the gender. Gender is a grammatical sense, means that a word can be classified as masculine, feminine, or neuter. Gender is not very important in English. However, it is at the very heart of Spanish language because the gender of a word often affects the way a word is spelled and pronounced. More part of speech have gender in Spanish than English, as the list indicates. So, since each part of speech follow its own rules to indicate gender, you will find gender discussed in the sections deal with articles and the various types of pronouns and adjectives. In the section, we shall only look at the gender of noun. So, nouns themselves do not have a gender, but sometimes their meaning will indicate a gender based on the biological sex of the person or animal named by the noun. When we replace a proper or common noun with he or she, we'll automatically use he for male and she for female. All the nouns that name things that do not have a sex are placed by it. So nouns referring to males indicate the masculine gender. Let's put an example. Paul came home. So Paul is a male. So he was tired. Masculine, he. And I was glad to see him. Him is also masculine. So nouns referring to females indicate a feminine gender. Put an example. The girl came home. The girl is a female noun. She was tired. She is a feminine. And I was glad to see her. Her is a feminine also. There are few well-known exceptions, such as sheep, which is referred to as she. It is custom, not logic, that decides. Okay, in Spanish, all nouns, common nouns, and proper nouns have a gender. They are either masculine or feminine. Do not confuse the grammatical terms masculine and feminine with the meaning of male and female. Only a few Spanish words have a grammatical gender tied to whether they refer to someone to the male or female sex. Most nouns have a gender that must be memorized. The gender of noun based on biological gender is easy to determine. These are nouns whose meaning is always tied to one or the other of the biological sex, male or female. The gender of all other nouns, common and proper, cannot be explained or figured out. These nouns have grammatical gender that is unrelated to biological gender. Here are some examples of English nouns classified under gender of their Spanish equivalent. Like money, dinero is a masculine. So library, nations, nación is feminism. You will need to know the gender of every Spanish noun you learn. Gender is important not only for the noun itself, but for the spelling of the word it influences. Since a noun alone does not usually indicate its gender, When we learn vocabulary, you will have to learn a noun with the article because the article does indicate gender. But there's some endings could indicate the Spanish gender. We can look at the end of the Spanish noun. In the list that follow this are ending that often indicate feminine noun or others that indicate masculine noun. Since you will encounter many nouns with this ending in basic Spanish, it is certainly worthwhile to familiarize yourself with them. Like, general speaking, feminine ending A is feminism. Like casa, C-A-S-A, it ends at A, right? So it means casa is the house, the library, so it's a feminism word. So dad, D-A-D, or dad, T-A-D. For example, la ciudad, la libertad is city, liberty. Also feminism. So, idiom, la reunión, la nación means meeting, nation. You saw this I-O-N, C-I-O-N, ion. This is also feminism. And hombre, like the custom. La costumbre, the custom. So umbre, they are the feminism too. So masculinism also have a special ending. Generally speaking, like L, it ends at L, like paper, babette. O and at O, libro, book. And at N, like jardín, garden. And N with E, el parque, park. R and at R, like dolor, the pain. And S, interés, the interest. So this is basically is a masculinism ending, but there's another, also will have a couple few exceptions. So for an example, the exception like la mano is the hand. Mano is end with O. So according to our rules we talk about, it should be like a masculine, right? But actually it's la mano, so it's feminism. And another example, el día, the day, we talk about it. It should be feminism, but is an exception. So it's a masculine word. So sometimes there's a exception you need to learn.